Hey guys, Matt here and welcome back to Mathantastic Productions. This will be a little bit different than most videos I make. It's not gonna be about the Golden Knights. On this video I want to talk about a different game I made this week. And I'm gonna release it on the Play Store. You can check the link down below in the description and it'll be there. This game it is based on a dream my friend had, and on that dream, he was shooting lasers from his eyeballs to kill cockroaches. Yeah, a very weird dream indeed. So the game is about an eye that stays in the middle of the screen, and wherever you click on the screen, this eye will shoot a laser, and cockroaches are gonna attack you. If they reach the eye, you're dead. So it's a simple high score system. You gotta survive as long as possible, and the game gets slowly harder with time. So at first I had to go to get the game playable. Not pretty, nothing fancy, just playable. So getting the graphics of the eye and the cockroach done, configure Unity to work with Android, because by the way I've never done an Android game before, so to do that I followed Blackthorn Prod's tutorial. After that I just programmed the basics of the game, and at the end of the day the game looked very simple, but it did work. I added a game object that slowly creates several enemies and slowly increases the rate, so it creates an infinite inflow of enemies that get slowly and slowly harder. That's the base of most Android games. After that I improved the damage system, and I made it so that when the enemy is shot, it not only is knocked back a bit, but also there are particles and a whole animation and blood spills out, and that makes everything look a lot better. I also made that when the cockroach dies, it not only disappears but it gets dismembered into several pieces, and those pieces fly off. This actually looked quite cool. After that I added a new enemy, the cricket. He goes jumping around and slowly makes its way towards you. Every time it jumps, it goes to a position that is a little bit closer than you. It is a very hard enemy to hit because it's always jumping, so a lot more cockroaches are gonna spawn than crickets. I also improved the background, and instead of it just being a blank color, now the color changes over time. This is actually a little bit difficult to implement because Unity uses colors in RGB mode, and to do this you gotta change the hue, so you'll need to use the HSV model, so I could slowly increase the hue. So it took me a little while to figure out how to do it, but I did it and it looks really good. I then stopped a little implementing the game itself and went for the menu system. It is a very simple menu, just the name of the game written on bouncy letters, a text saying touch to play the game. When you touch, the text disappears, and the eyes get smaller to fit in the middle of the screen where he'll be in gameplay. I then added a new enemy, the ant. The ant goes in circles around the player and slowly gets closer and closer and closer until it kills you. It only takes one shot to kill, so it's pretty easy to kill, but it moves in circles, so it's really hard to hit. I then moved on to the score system. The score will work like it works on most games. The more enemies you kill, the more score you get. So I added a little display that when you kill the enemy, a little number pops off, and that tells you how much score you gained from him. And also on the top right corner of the screen I added a counter that tells you the total score. This will be used for the high score system that will appear on the try again screen when you die, but that's not currently done. I then went for the game over screen, so when you die the screen will appear telling you your maximum score, and if it is your high score it will tell you below high score. if this isn't your high score, it'll show you the high score. So when you click the try again button, the game restarts and you try again. I also added a little animation when the ice dies. It not only dies, but it explodes down with some fancy blood particles and stuff. Of course, when I was doing that, the ants just decided to stop working. It took me a little while to find out, but apparently I had just put the direction calculation below the changing position, which kinda bugged everything out. So it was pretty easy fix, just flip those around. So at that point, most of the game was done. I wanted now to add the boss. The boss is the spider, so when you spend a considerable amount of time playing the game, the boss will appear and it will slowly but surely go towards you and have to keep shooting it because it has a lot of health. While the spider is going, it's gonna shoot webs. They're gonna make an arch and go towards you. And you gotta shoot the webs so that they don't kill you. At first when I created the boss, a couple of problems happens when you spawn, because some enemies would still be on screen when they spawn, so I fixed these by making sure that when the spider spawns, there's no enemy around. At this point, most of the basic mechanics were done. So I exported the game and I sent it to my friends. My friends are gonna be my beta testers, right? So I got the APK ready and sent to them. And of course, something was bugged or had something wrong with it. First, the canvas in Unity wasn't relative to the resolution of the screen. So if your device has a resolution less than 1080p, the score counter wouldn't show up. So I fixed this by making the canvas relative, of course. Also, the black fade that appears when you die would only work on 16:9 displays, which most Android cell phones are not. So of course that was an easy fix. To finish the fixes, the spider boss was changing its behavior depending on the frame rate. So I went ahead and I multiplied everything by time the delta time, which totally fixed it. So, as I sent the beta version to my friends, they gave me some feedbacks. They said that after the spider boss is dead, the game gets too crowded with enemies and it gets too hard. So I had the idea to create harder version of enemies, so instead of regular cockroaches, they would be like gray cockroaches that would have double the health, so it would be harder to kill, which would make the game harder. It would also get some variety in that without crowding the screen with a bunch of enemies. So for the harder version of enemies, I first have the grey cockroach, which is just like the regular cockroach, but it has twice the life. The red cockroach, it is just like a regular cockroach, but has twice the speed. And to finish it all, the blue ant, which has twice the health and twice the speed of a regular ant. I then proceeded to do some sound effects. At that point the game was completely silent, so I just added some simple 8-bit sound effects from the laser shooting out of the eyeballs, the enemies just and it actually ended up sounding quite nice. At this point the game was basically done, but that was when I noticed a huge bug. Huge. Sometimes when you die, the game would just crash, and it took me a really long time to find out why that was happening. Really long time, but it actually ended up it's the crickets. When the crickets try to jump, it jumps to a point closer to the 0 points. And when the cricket gets to the 0 points, it goes into an infinite loop because it can't never find a point closer to that point than 0. So it is actually a very easy fix, but it took me a really long time to figure out what was happening. At this point the game was done, so I started working on the Google Play page. I paid the tuition to get into Google Play Store and I started working on the page. The game will be free, so anyone can play it. I also added a credits display on the main menu, and I also added a link to my YouTube channel. So the game is now done. I'm soon gonna release the trailer for this game on this channel. I just wanna say that the game is not out yet, it's soon gonna be. I'm just waiting for Google to review my Google Play page, but because of the situation we're living, Google is taking a little longer than usually to do this kind of thing. So I'm waiting for that, and as soon as that is done, I'm gonna put the link in the description of this video so that you can download it. But currently, yeah, the game is not available. So this is the video. This is the behind the scenes on the game I Hate Cockroaches. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, hit subscribe. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.